I move that the Westpac New Zealand Bill be now read a third time. Mr Speaker, this is a private bill promoted by Westpac New Zealand Limited. To date, the bill has been steered through the House by my colleague Craig Foss, and it is a privilege to be able to steer this bill through its third reading today. The bill provides the mechanism to enable certain assets and liabilities of Westpac Banking Corporation in New Zealand, being principally assets and liabilities of Westpac Banking Corporation's New Zealand institutional banking business, to be vested in its New Zealand subsidiary, Westpac New Zealand Limited. Westpac operates in New Zealand through both a branch, Westpac Banking Corporation New Zealand branch, and a locally incorporated subsidiary, which is called Westpac New Zealand Limited. Having regard to the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's local incorporation policy, Westpac Banking Corporation and Westpac New Zealand Limited have agreed with the Reserve Bank that Westpac Banking Corporation will transfer certain assets and liabilities, being principally assets and liabilities of its New Zealand institutional banking business, to Westpac New Zealand Limited. The transfer will reduce the size of the New Zealand branch and assist in ensuring that it continues to remain below its external liabilities cap, both in periods of growth and in market volatility. Importantly, Mr Speaker, the transfer is also beneficial in terms of the Reserve Bank's local incorporation policy, as it will increase the size of Westpac New Zealand Limited and consequently allow the Reserve Bank to have greater control over the assets and liabilities being transferred were there ever to be a bank failure event. Legislation is the only means by which the designated assets and liabilities can be vested in Westpac New Zealand Limited efficiently and economically without disrupting the conduct and continuity of Westpac New Zealand's banking business. The bill also ensures minimal disruption to Westpac's customers, employees and suppliers. And given the size of the bank, Mr Speaker, this is extremely important indeed. I wish to offer my thanks to the members of the Finance and Expenditure Committee for facilitating the smooth and timely passage of the bill through the House, and to the officials who appeared before the Select Committee to offer advice on the bill. My thanks also go to the House for its support of and the detailed attention to the bill. Mr Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Okay.
Honourable David Cunliffe.
I rise to take a call in this third reading of the Westpac New Zealand Bill and to confirm that the Labour opposition will be supporting this bill because it is important to ensure that the New Zealand banking system remains strong and stable, and that this bill gives effect to one component of that financial security, which is to ensure that locally incorporated subsidiaries are of sufficient scale to provide good risk management within our system pursuant to the regulations of the New Zealand Reserve Bank. Mr Speaker, I want to firstly to draw on the submission by Westpac itself in taking the House through the reasons why this bill is necessary, and then to note several important contextual issues that surround it. Mr Speaker, Westpac in some form or other has operated in New Zealand for 150 years or so. Westpac New Zealand Limited is a locally incorporated subsidiary of Westpac Banking Corporation headquartered in Australia, which has only operated in New Zealand since 2006. And it did so pursuant to regulations passed by the New Zealand Reserve Bank. Westpac New Zealand Limited conducts Westpac Banking Corporation's retail operations in New Zealand, and that includes customer and consumer and business banking, while the Westpac Banking Corporation branch, the Australian-owned branch, conducts the